Premier League legend Alan Shearer stated, "It's highly likely whoever loses between Tottenham Hotspur and Nottingham Forest on Sunday will be relegated this season." Vicario to have surgery after the Forest game. Football London have stated Tottenham Hotspur #1 will only miss 2 games if everything goes to plan. A number of Tottenham stars are expected back soon, and a report claims Manchester United want a Tottenham star, a player they have been tracking for some time. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lee and this is the daily Tottenham news headlines. I'm here to go through all the reports and the rumours making the headlines today. If you're new around here, please do feel free to subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. Please do give us a thumbs up, a hype, any of that sort of stuff. If you've got comments about anything I say today, please feel free to put them in the comment section below and let us know what you're thinking. These videos are also available on all audio platforms, so if you prefer to listen rather than watch and you're out walking a dog or in the car, then please do listen in those formats and give us a star review. So plenty to talk about today, starting off with Alan Shearer. So Alan Shearer has said that we are in a relegation battle. Spurs got a really good result at Liverpool last week and deservedly got a point. Out of small crumbs, you get a little bit of confidence. The result last week and the result on Wednesday, albeit they went out of the Champions League and it wasn't enough to get them through, I think the bigger picture for Spurs is just surviving this season. They'll take great confidence from that and it should set them up nicely for their home game against Nottingham Forest. But in those games, I guess they have no real pressure because most people thought that they were going out. Having said that, the confidence and the belief they should take from the last 2 games should set them up nicely, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens at the weekend. It is highly likely whoever loses between Tottenham and Nottingham Forest on Sunday will be relegated this season. That's what's at stake for the loser. However, losses at the weekend, there's a massive chance they're going to be relegated. An official statement from Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. We can confirm that goalkeeper Vicario will undergo surgery next week on a hernia. The minor procedure for the Italy international goalkeeper has been timed to have as minimal impact on our season as possible. Guillermo will commence his rehabilitation with our medical staff immediately, and it is hoped that they could return to action within the next month. Following this announcement, Football London has stated as a result of the March international break, Vicario may miss just 2 matches for his relegation battling club. It's almost certain that he will be absent from April's trip to the Stadium of Light to face Sunderland, as well as the game against Brighton at home on the 18th of April. At present, it appears as though Vicario is expected to return to the field against Wolves at Molineux on the 25th of April. That is if his recovery ultimately goes to plan without issue. Spurs boss Igor Tudor has provided some updates on some injured Spurs stars. James Maddison is already doing interesting things as well with the ball, sprinting as well. I saw him, he's positive. Tudor then stated he expects Maddison to be back in a Spurs shirt by the end of the season. Tudor was asked about Kulusevski and is there any update? His response was no, not yet. Tudor does expect Kudos to be back soon though, and said, so we have the big 3 weeks after the game on Sunday. I don't know, probably some part of the things with the squad, maybe 10 days. I don't know, I'm not sure. We need to check, but he is progressing very well already, a little bit with the ball. On midfielder Rodrigo Bentancur, Tudor said, we have his medical staff will make us some nice surprise in the middle of the week, which would be very important to have that. So looks like Rodrigo as well. Give Me Sport and Sports Boom are reporting that Manchester United are eyeing up a cut price move to sign Tottenham Hotspur star Archie Gray if they get relegated from the Premier League. Man United have a long-standing interest in the young star, but found their deal hard to do in 2024 as he was playing for their fierce rivals Leeds United, with a long family connection making matters even more difficult. However, the club are now hopeful that should Tottenham suffer the unthinkable and be relegated, the England Youth International could become more available, and they are eyeing up a deal worth around £55 million to bring him in, much lower than the value Spurs would place on him if they were still in the Premier League. The Red Devils are pushing to secure a return to the Champions League next season and currently sit third in the table, 7 points ahead of sixth place Chelsea, who will face off against Everton on Saturday evening, looking to close that gap. Tottenham, on the other hand, currently sit just 1 point above the relegation zone following a nightmare campaign and face a huge relegation 6-pointer against Nottingham Forest on Sunday to save their status as a top-flight club. Should Spurs find themselves in the Championship next season, it has now emerged that Man United are on an move to sign one impressive starlet from their rivals on the cheap. Gray has been described as a phenomenal, has been one of the standout performers for the North London club this season, playing in a variety of positions and showing his quality despite being just 20 years old. Gray has given his assurances to Spurs that he won't look to depart in the summer, even if the club are relegated, as he sees his long-term future with them. Real Madrid and Bayern Munich are also understood to be showing an interest in Gray, meaning Man United wouldn't be alone in their quest to bring him in should he become available. Man United are keen to bring the midfield options this summer, and while they need experience, with Casemiro departing at the end of the contract, they also need quality, and Gray seems to have that in abundance. Lots to go through today, so let's start off with Alan Shearer's comments about the battle for relegation. I do agree with him to a certain extent, yes. It is a big deal, this match, but I don't think it's decisive. If we lose it, provided West Ham don't get a better result than us, we still stay out of the bottom three. So it's not done and dusted as yet. There is plenty of time and plenty of other matches to get through, but this one does feel like one that we need to win to keep that momentum going. Nottingham Forest are going through a difficult time as well, and they'll be battling, so it's not going to be easy. But as I've said previously, I know that there's lots of fan initiatives, there's lots of club initiatives for this match, really to try to get us across the line in this game. Lots of confidence going into it, so hopefully we will come out victorious. But like I say, if we don't, I don't think it necessarily means that we will be relegated. There's still other games to play. There's still other points worth getting, and you have to stay positive. All the whilst there is a opportunity to get out of it, you've got to believe that's going to happen, right? Otherwise, what's the point, you know? So, yeah, I agree with him. It's a massive game, but I don't agree it will just be either us or them. If the unthinkable happens, Leeds didn't pick up many points yesterday. I think they drew. So that keeps them sort of fairly close as well, and could get dragged into it. So let's wait and see. Let's not go too far down that rabbit hole of thinking we're definitely going to go down if we don't win this game. We need to stay positive. Moving on to Vicario. Vicario off to have a hernia operation. I mean, it never rains, but it pours, does it? In terms of injuries, it's just really, really annoying. So it's clear that he's been playing with an injury for some time. Hernias don't just happen. They something's growing in that. And they're trying to limit the amount of impact that has on the club by doing it in the international break, and whilst there is a couple of weeks respite. So hopefully only misses a couple of games because let's be honest, whilst Vicario hasn't been fantastic this year, he has still kept us in an awful lot of games. Certainly his shot stopping is excellent. His distribution is a massive problem, and sometimes his final decision making is not the greatest. Obviously, Kinski is our number two, and bringing him in the other week was a disaster. But was that because he was rusty? Was that because he had a bad time with the pitch? We don't know. When he came in, he was excellent. Started against Liverpool and put in a brilliant performance. He was very commanding in his area. He had great distribution with his foot, with his hands. Maybe not as great at shot stopping as Vicario might be, but certainly did have those sort of attributes. So I'm confident that Kinski can do a decent job for us. I think he's been written off far too quickly. But, only getting a couple of games in, is that really going to help him? And with the impact on his confidence against Atletico, it could be a problem. But hopefully he'll learn from that, and hopefully he can put in what sort of performance he needs to keep us moving forward. You have to believe in your players. Failing that, we do have Brandon Austin, who again has come in and done a job for us, but again not very often. So it is a worry that he's not getting that many minutes. So that is a little bit of a fear for me, but you can only minimise it as much as you can. And obviously, if Vicario is injured, it needs to be resolved. So we'll see how we get on from that. So moving on to the other injury news that Tudor was talking about. So it looks like a little bit of good news. Kudus and Bentancur look like they're progressing very, very well and could be back shortly, maybe after the international break. And Maddison, which is a really positive one, is progressing really well. He's sprinting and he's playing with the ball on grass, which is really, really positive news. Listen, these guys have missed an awful lot of football, so we can't really expect them to come back and have an instant impact. But at the same time, if we do get them back and we've got those options on the bench, even if they're coming on towards the end of a game or starting a game or whatever, and giving us those options in their actual positions, then that's much more needed. So yeah, I'm keen to see them coming back, and glad to see that news today. Like I say, with James Maddison, I've seen videos of him training with all the monitors on, seeing what his body's doing. So obviously with that kind of technology, they're able to see where his problems lie and how far he can go. So hopefully that will give us a good boost going forward. And of course, then we move on to this story about Archie Gray and Man United and Bayern Munich and Real Madrid and so on. You're always going to have that kind of big news. You're always going to have your players, if they're playing well and doing well, you're always going to have that rumour going around about those players moving on and other teams really, really wanting them. We've been through it with Harry Kane, with Son, with Eric Dyer when he was doing particularly well at the start of his Tottenham career. It's been going on forever. But I think Tottenham are in a different position now. Of course, relegation is a real problem, but I think that will probably hit us more with established stars, real internationals. Your Van der Vens, your Romeros. Those guys are probably the ones that would look to move on more than maybe Archie Gray at this point in his career. Man United are still not the Man United of old. Of course, players would want to play there because of their history and so on. But I think Archie would probably more likely want to see them really up there, achieving stuff to want to move this early in his career. He's only 19, 20 years of age. He's got time on his side. So a year in the Championship, if that were to happen, wouldn't cause him a massive problem. His family, like I say, are all Leeds connected, but that doesn't really count for much when you're talking about a professional career and a job sort of thing. But I think Archie Gray is intelligent enough, more intelligent than perhaps we give him credit for thinking, sticking where he is at the moment and learning his trade and seeing what happens is worth a punt. I don't see him moving to Manchester United at this stage. Maybe later on he may well move to another club, depending on what Tottenham do. And this is about Tottenham's progression and Tottenham's effort and so on, to see where they go from here. It'd be good for a young player to really show a level of loyalty, to see where he can actually get. He's only just really broken into the team in his preferred position, having played all over the place. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time before that comes on. But of course, the vultures will always be circling when you're having trouble. Tottenham have been doing that for years, taking those sorts of players. But I'm not going to worry about Archie Gray leaving at this point. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. If it happens, it happens. Players move on. Fans are the ones that are there forever. So stick with your own club, and that's it. Whoever's in or out. Anyway, that's the news for today. Thanks for watching. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you are new around here, or you just watch but you never subscribe, please do subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow, and obviously gives you loads of content from Chris and from all the other contributors to his channel. If you've liked the video, a thumbs up would be great. Thanks very much for that. There is this hype thing. I don't know what that does. And also, if you disagree with anything or you agree with anything I say today, please do feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Like I said before, audio platforms there as well. If you're listening on an audio platform, please do give it a 5-star review. That's also helpful for all these technical algorithms. As I said, I'm Lee the Dorset Spur. I do have my own channel. If you'd like to subscribe to that, please do head over there. It'd be great to have you. I'm a very, very small channel looking to grow. So appreciate any support that I can get from that point of view. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Good luck for Spurs today against Nottingham Forest. I'll see you on the next one. Up the Spurs.